Hello, thank you for joining with me. We are in the Manual for Teachers. This is section 27, What is Death? And I'm picking up on paragraphs 4 through 6. If you'd like to join me for a prayer. Dear Father, please enable me to set aside everything I think I know for an open mind and a new experience. Help me to be who you would have me be, do what you would have me do, go where you would have me go, think what you would have me think, and say what you would have me say. And so it is. Amen. The curious belief that there is part of dying things that may go on apart from what will die does not proclaim a loving God nor reestablish any grounds for trust. And I'm going to go ahead and read footnote 212. This, of course, refers to the belief that the soul will go on after the body dies. To deny this, however, is not to imply that the body does not die in the ordinary sense. The Course teaches that being an illusion, the body was never alive in the first place. The body neither lives nor dies because it cannot contain you who are life. Back to the text. If death is real for anything, there is no life. Death denies life, but if there is reality in life, death is denied. No compromise in this is possible. There is either a God of fear or one of love. The world attempts 1,000 compromises and will attempt 1,000 more. Not one can be acceptable to God's teachers because not one could be acceptable to God. He did not make death because he did not make fear. Both are equally meaningless to him. The reality of death is firmly rooted in the belief that God's Son is a body. And if God created bodies, death would indeed be real, but God would not be loving. There is no point at which the contrast between the perception of the real world and that of the world of illusions becomes more sharply evident. Death is indeed the death of God, if he is love. And we're going to go down and read footnote 213. This seems to be another reference to the death of God theological movement that was current at the time that this was dictated. For an earlier reference, see Workbook Lesson 163. The point above that is that if God is love, 1 John 4:8, and yet death is real, then God must be dead. Back to the text. And now his own creation must stand in fear of him. He is not Father, but destroyer. He is not Creator, but Avenger. Let's go down to 2:14. 1 Thessalonians 4:6. That no man transgress and wrong his brother in this matter, because the Lord is an avenger in all these things, as we solemnly forewarned you. And back to the text. To look on his creations is to die. And now back to the footnote 215, Exodus 33:20. But he, God, said, you cannot see my face, for man shall not see me and live. In the above reference, you cannot even look on God's creations and live. Perhaps this is because you see their doomed existence as proof that their Creator must be a destroyer and an avenger, which obviously implies that you are doomed as well. And back to the text. Terrible his thoughts. And to look on his creation is to die. And we just read that footnote. And the last to be overcome will be death. Footnote 216, 1 Corinthians 15:26. The last enemy to be defeated will be death. And back to the text. Of course, without the idea of death, there is no world. All dreams will end with this one. This is salvation's final goal, the end of all illusions. And in death are all illusions born. What can be born of death and still have life, but what is born of God and still can die? The inconsistencies, the compromises, and the rituals which the world fosters in its vain attempts to cling to death and yet to think love real are mindless magic, ineffectual, and meaningless. God is, and in him all created things must be eternal. Do you not see that otherwise he has an opposite, and fear would be as real as love? So do you not see that otherwise he is an opposite, and fear would be as real as love? Teacher of God, your one assignment could be stated thus. I'm making a lot of mistakes, I apologize. Accept no compromise in which death plays a part. Accept no compromise in which death plays a part. Footnote 217, a compromise in which death plays a part would be a compromise between the two opposite views that life is the total reality and that death is the total reality. It would mean in some way affirming the reality of death, such as believing in attack or in the reality of some perishable form, while still trying to maintain that life is eternal and God is love. Do not believe in cruelty or let attack conceal the truth from you. What seems to die has but been misperceived and carried to illusion. Now it becomes your task to let the illusion be carried to the truth. Be steadfast, but in this, be not deceived by the reality of any changing form. Truth neither moves nor wavers nor sinks down to death and dissolution. And what is the end of death? Nothing but this, the realization that the Son of God is guiltless now and forever. Nothing but this. Do not let yourself forget it is not less than this. Thank you for joining me in the Manual for Teachers, Section 27, What is Death? That is the conclusion. I love you. Thank you.